We're on.
We're on the first 1825 podcast episode.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's an honor to be a first guest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is. We'll see how this goes, but we might try a few times. We'll see how this goes, but usually, Zach helps out a little bit in this point of view.
I think you guys should be authentic. Just
Post whatever.
post wherever.
True.
You gotta record your progress.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be, you're never gonna do it perfectly. It's always something. It's like you're an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to practice for like 10 years before you play a game,
Yeah.
That's
true.
ain't gonna work.
Start before you're ready.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm just so sweating right now. All right, so let's start with us. Like, who are we?
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's gonna be any previous videos before this. So, my name is Sam in America. Technically, it's Samuele, and this is Felipe.
Yep, my name is Felipe. I'm from Brazil. But here, I am Felipe also, or Phil. Sometimes
Phil? Okay.
they call me Phil sometimes.
So we
but
started.
Guys, this
Yeah.
is your podcast. You should
Yeah.
go with the first name, last name, the way you pronounce it. It's your podcast. You should be like,
It should be
home.
like
you
that.
know?
Alright.
You're not Phil,
So
bro.
my full name is.
I just said that because he said Sam in America. I was like, okay.
Okay, so technically, I'm probably being called Sam here, most likely, but my full name is Samuele Contestabile, which is basically unpronounceable for Americans. But yeah, I am technically. Oh, we have a lot of culture here because I'm from Italy, Brazil, and Poland.
Yep.
And so yeah, I'm just as of right now, I'm just chilling on my MBA, tennis player. I work sometimes, I guess, and passionate for business, I guess, and podcasting. What about you?
My name is Felipe Santana. I'm from Brazil, and I used to play soccer. I graduated last semester, and now I'm just doing my OPT here in the United States, working in a wealth management company, and passionate about wealth management, about finance, investing, and all of that.
All right. Before we get into the podcast, so we basically, I'm pretty sure I talked to you about this, but we basically start. I mean, you're obviously in here, but one day we just me and Zach basically we really like podcasts. We follow a lot of podcasts.
Tell me which ones.
We love Joe Rogan. At least I love Joe Rogan, and I watch. The main ones that I go with is Joe Rogan, basically. Then there's a few Italian ones that I watch. In America, I go with a lot, like, I don't remember the ones. Mainly, I just watch Joe Rogan, mainly. But I try to watch as much as I can. I don't even remember the names, but they just pop on my screen and then I just watch.
What's special about Rogan?
What's special about Joe Rogan? It's just that, for me, it's crazy how he's just right every time. Like, he's just a very nice person to talk to, because in my opinion, the thing that he markets at the best, it's because he's very authentic. He's like, he says whatever he thinks and he never judges anybody. So one of my favorite things to watch with him was when he's interviewing people from the right side and the left side in terms of politics. And I would say he's a perfect person that it's basically in the middle. And to be perfectly in the middle, you have to be able to never judge anyone on both sides. So he embraces parts of the right side, embraces parts of the left side, but he never judges. And he is also very, I feel like he gets very emotional about and passionate about some stuff, which I really like, because I can also emulate him, because I get really passionate and emotional talking about some stuff as well. I don't know, it's just fucking awesome.
Look, let me just tell you my thought about Rogan. I think that the spot he's right now, without being a comedian, he wouldn't be there. Because here is where I understood about comedy when I first started to actually going to the stand-up shows. I've been just a few times. I've been actually to New York I I think it's Upper Manhattan or West Manhattan, I don't remember, when like bunch of the clubs are there and the comics are, marketing on the street, like, yo, we're doing comedy, I'm a comic, like, buy the tickets. And I went a few times actually, and this is amazing how they connect with the
audience.
of the audience. And I think his background, because he was so successful being a comedian, this is how he can connect to all of those people. Because
that's true,
you can think that, if you're funny, you're going to make a great comic. No.
No.
It's all about the connecting.
Yeah.
So all of those people, constantly for years and years learning how to connect. And then you really learn how to interact, because you have such a pressure. Because it's all live, you cannot, skip back, cut the part.
Yeah.
And I think that...
You tell the first joke, nobody laughs, that's it. You're done.
Well,
you're mentally, like, you gotta be prepared for that.
I think, like, it's for the beginners.
Yeah.
Like, once you learn, like, there are some jokes that are not landing, but the show could be still amazing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's true. That's very true. He can connect with people right away. I feel like every time he's got a person on.
So what are your thoughts about the cancellation of Rogan after he released the COVID stuff?
I would love to talk about this. Let me just introduce you first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Just, who are you?
Yeah,
otherwise?
so I'm Michal Podgorzak, native of Poland, failed athlete. No, I'm kidding.
Basically all failed.
Join the club.
No, I mean, I've been playing for 15 years volleyball. I had a pro episode, but I'm trying not to think that I failed because I didn't go to the Olympics or I didn't play in the national team that I was dreaming of. But like I did, I would say more than average player does, because I went pro almost 2 years. I beat some records in college. And also recently I realized that volleyball was such a big part of my life, and going to college just got me such a vast exposure to other things. I got into art, I got into financial markets, I got into so much stuff that kind of it went to the side, the sport. And I would say I'm just a curious person. Like,
true.
If I have a chance speaking to somebody who has better expertise about any topic, like I'm gonna, it's gonna be a questionnaire, because I always like asking why, and like I don't like assigning labels to people. So that's why, by the way, like conversations in the college, like, hey, what's your major, for me make no sense. But I would just describe myself as a curious person.
Nice. True. You were talking about the fact that how volleyball was a big part of your life, because we talked previously how now you're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
So now you basically your full day. Now you have so many more hours that you don't know. You never realized how much time now you have, right?
Yeah, because I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the conversation I've been having with the people who are in the similar stage of life, like myself. It's like when you do it, basically I was doing that since I was like 9. You don't realize, because it's kind of implied. It's the thing that you have on the schedule and you can do nothing to move it. And right now the thing is not in my schedule, and I'm like, damn, I have like, the days just got like 4 more hours and I can do so much stuff. But I think it's just a part of transitioning. And
what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
Well, mostly...
That's a question.
Learning. Kind of snacking too. Let's say like, on some kind of, what was his name? Tim Ferriss guy, wake up at 5 a.m. But for sure I can explore things like, a little bit more about finance. I mean, recently diving a bit more into geopolitics, because it didn't affect me personally, but obviously the war.
Yeah.
I started reading more because like I live back home like 2-3 hours from Ukraine.
Really?
The girlfriend of my cousin is Ukrainian, and my parents are teachers, so right now they're teaching a bunch of Ukrainian kids.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started to dive into it, recognize how many aspects go into that, agriculture, energy, and it's all like so complex that
it is.
It's kind of a rabbit hole once you start.
Yeah.
And that's like, and finally, the cool part about it is that I'm not dependent on so many people, because in the team sport, like my success depends on me, but it also depends on 10, 12 other people.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel right now that I'm more in control of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can
That's
be
interesting.
with tennis, it's because you
it's
still play
different.
1-on-1, so
Yeah, it's
you
different.
can, you know, it's different because it's still like a team of people that is behind your
Yeah.
coach, your conditioning coach,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But you know, at the game, it's you. It's 1-on-1.
Yeah, it's just different because I mean the coach is behind you obviously.
Yeah.
And now you have your teammates. I mean, depends if you're playing tournaments by yourself, but like it's different because even if you lose and you know you won your match, you know you know you already feel much better just because you know you won your match, even though you lost. Let's say you played another school and we lose 5-2, but then let's say that I win my match, like you know, it's just different. You know?
Yeah, and also like the pro
But
tennis, like you by yourself.
you're by yourself, obviously. Yeah. Let's. I mean, yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna come back to it because I'm very passionate about mental side of tennis, because I've been having conversations
Specifically for tennis.
for tennis.
Okay.
Because it's unlike MMA when you have like, you know, physical contact, and I've been having conversations with people who are, you know, really into tennis, who've been working in Rafa Nadal's academy, who've been, you know, playing, even I think some of them were ranked ITF or ATP.
Yeah.
And what they told me is that ATP 100, skill-wise, almost the same. The main difference is mental.
ATP 100, the top 100 players. Yeah.
Like top 50, 100 players.
Yeah.
The skill set, almost the same.
Yeah.
But the difference is mental.
Yeah.
What would you say about it?
I 100% agree.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell because, yeah, if you watch a match, if you follow like champions like a Djokovic, Nadal, you can just tell that they have something else because I've seen Nadal for the past 2 years. I've seen him playing absolutely like really bad, like for his performance, obviously, like we don't want to compare anyone to him, but like for how it was his standards, he played very bad, and he was still able to win like 4 Grand Slams in the past 2 years, and just mental because it's really hard when you play someone that you know you can probably beat, but you don't have a chance to like break them down because they're there for every single point, like to just don't give up. And it's the same with MMA. When you have on the other side someone that you know maybe can give up sometimes, or just it's different. When you have someone that comes at you at all times, that hits you bad, like that hits you hard.
It's hard to be someone that never gives up, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
That's
don't. Yeah. So for the contest, it's like hard to beat somebody who never gives up. It's like, you know, in the tennis court, right?
Yeah.
And I always kind of cringe on that because, you know, in America, people tend to use very, very noble phrases. Like you can go to the dorm, to the student dorm, and you have like, you know, all of those.
It's
all
in
of
your
those
house as well.
Yeah, it's like excellence, you know. What was the
one at the tennis courts?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Win the last point. I saw some of them, like
Design for success or whatever.
That's his school.
Work hard. There's something about work hard, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, like I had a thoughts about it. If you put such noble words, excellence, in such a trivial places, like, you know, dorm room, and you use them every day, like they lose meaning.
You think so?
100%. Because, you know, you have worst, bad, decent, good, very good. And when you skip all of this, you know, spectrum, like it loses meaning. Like, you know, when you drink coffee, oh, that's an excellent coffee. Like, I don't know if it's a great example, but I think you guys know, you guys know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I know.
And
it's
you
like,
can, and like when you overuse those words, if something is awesome, like it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and when you overuse those words, these words lose a meaning, and that's why, for me, like, okay, I can admit that it's a mockery of those words because they're everywhere. We basically are being struck with them. So what you're doing, like at this point, you just look at your friend and you just start mocking it. So, and if you use those words, like you have to kind of provide the value, in my opinion, because when you use like such a noble words, but you're like, like I would say that how this is how the memes, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
work,
I agree with you, because it's so easy, especially like nowadays. It's so easy to just surround yourself with like great people, great quotes, great motivational stuff every single day, and it's almost like, you watch one motivational video and you think like, okay, I'm just gonna be the best right now, like let's go. But then you realize that it's not that simple, just because you're so used to it, to watch it and have that feeling that you think you can actually do it. It takes much more than you think to just actually achieve those like quotes, work hard and, so I absolutely feel that.
Yeah, I can tell you guys the example from my experience as an athlete, because back home, Eastern Europe is still a culture, like in between coach and players, there is not much of praising. Like it's your job, like you're 15, 16, like they require from you. And like I had coaches that I heard good job maybe like 2 times in a year, but then it felt amazing. Right? And when you in here, I mean, I don't want to say in here, but more Western cultures like States, even Western Europe tends to kind of, praise the effort, not the result. And I kind of, players and people in general become deaf to those words because you hear it every day 15 times. And this is kind of part to complement the point about the words losing meaning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely know what you mean, but at the same time, don't you feel that big difference between the eastern part of the world and the west? Like the United States, every single person, I feel like they are so much more passionate about their job, their achievements, what they can do. They have to work hard. They go like
celebrating life, I would say.
Yeah, but for example, when I got back for the first time, so I was here for like 4 months when you get here, and then I went back for Christmas. Like it really hit me, like the difference, because I was living in a country where I come here, I'm locked in. Like I study, I work, I meet people, I do shit every single time. I don't have time to do anything else. Then I go back home and it feels like nobody's doing anything. Like I go out and people are chilling. You go middle in the morning, people are chilling. Like it feels like nobody's actually like pushing you. Like the environment is so different. It's nobody like expects anything from you. Here everybody, you hear another person that's like working out 5 hours a day, working at night, and then start. You never hear those things.
But I think
so commonly, at least in that part of the world. That's just my opinion based on my experience. I could be 100% wrong, obviously.
No, also
as well. I don't know if you felt that as well.
I mean, like I think it depends like on a group of people like that you live with, like because I like in Brazil, like I know like a lot of people like so passionate about like what they do, like, and I learned a lot like from them, like how to like grow. I think that like growing, it's more like about like getting out of the comfort zone. So like here, like I see that people, they don't want to be in the comfort zone. So like, they're okay, like what can I do like to be different, And then like okay, like in sports, like like the best player is usually the guy that wakes up at 6 a.m. And he wants like to do like an extra training, or like whenever he goes back to the dorm, like he's watching soccer, like I think that's like get out of your comfort zone to grow. Like that's what I think.
Yeah.
And also I think in the States compared to Europe, and I would say even I've never been to China or any Asian country, but like based on my knowledge from social media, podcasts and mass media, is that in here people are less judging. Kind of people don't care about each other, but in a positive sense.
Yeah, true. I feel that as well.
They don't kind of, judge their failures. And I think I told you this example once, that I've been to the teams and the environment with people who are extremely talented, people who made their living out of sport. But if you go there, sit in a locker room and say like, I want to be a world champion, like you're gonna have a nickname champion till the rest of your day.
I know.
But here in the US, I played with some players that, with all the respect, but they were not even close to be pro or even to be in a top collegiate level. But then if you sit in a locker room and say that, they're gonna be like, wow, like that's impressive, like bro, keep going.
True.
And also, like, regarding what you just said about Italy, I think that might be a part of Mediterranean culture, because
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Like, by the way, also I think the climate affects that, because if you look right next to the equator, Greece, Italy, then South America too, but right, those people will be more oriented in relationships. Like I figure, because I was in Greece a few times, I used to have a teammate that invited me, because so I've been going early with my parents. But people don't care about their status. People don't care about their jobs. All they care is to sit together in the table, drink coffee.
Yeah.
And I don't know how about the Italy, but in Greece, people wouldn't have plates during the dinner. Everybody's eating from the common plates and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, this is small symbol.
Yeah.
But they really derive their happiness out of being with each other.
Mm-hmm. Italy is the same, exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's
so
very
it depends
similar,
kind of on your priorities, because you might appreciate it when you're 65, not 22, 23.
Yeah.
Because US is being criticized for this blind capitalism, like blind, running. And even you can see that comparing the working laws in the US and Europe. Like in the US, your break is not included in your working time. So you don't have 8-hour workday, I'm sure you know, but you have 9-hour workday, because that hour you take for lunch is not included. And you have like 2 weeks paid vacation, right?
I realize that.
yeah, 2 weeks paid vacation or so. While in Europe, like it's at least a month.
Yeah, but you see, like,
I mean, it's just like a small example, but I think it illustrates.
But you see that, I don't know,
well.
I feel like people don't complain about this. Like,
yeah,
if you talk to any Americans, obviously they would like, okay, let's go. Like, I wouldn't mind 1 more week of vacation or 2 weeks, but like they don't really complain because they love their job. Like, they truly do.
Or
they and it's just that maybe not their job, but their industry, bro. They change jobs every 2 weeks. I promise. Like every month, they have a new job, and I don't blame them, because if the job market is so great as it is right now, if I see another opportunity that's like paying me double, obviously I go there. But if this would have to happen in Italy, people would be literally in the street with like guns and everything pointed at the government, because there's no way. I need my vacations. You're nobody to tell me no, obviously. So yeah.
But I would say they don't complain because they may not know anything different. Because if they grew up in here, this is the way their grandparents work. This is the way their parents are working. Yeah. So they might don't know anything different.
What I always thought about America in general, the United States, is that they're very at extreme. They're either one extreme or the other extreme. Just what I believe about Americans, because you find the people that are literally, like, it's hard to find people in the middle. They're like, they either work.
What you mean?
Too hard? Or
Okay.
They either work too hard or they don't work at all. Where I'm from, there's much more of a balance between people that like have their thing and then just go like that every single time. But here, there's people that actually like do what they do the entire day. Like I just say that there's an extreme. Like, you're either a person that truly believes in the hardworking like path, or you're just a person that don't. I don't think there's many people in between, or at least as many there are where I'm from.
So here's my thesis, and correct me if I'm wrong. Because of different access and resources to the education, because when you're growing up in Brazil, Italy, or Poland, like, whether you're higher class or poorer class, you're gonna go to the same high school. Like, not high school, but like you're gonna go to the same primary school. You're gonna go to the same middle school.
Even high school, yeah.
So you have kind of people blending. Yeah. And in here, it's like that, just like you just said, they're either very hardworking people or people who just, get by. Because my thesis is just different access to education. Because, tax system in here you have local taxes. The schools are financed by local taxes, meaning that if you're in a rich neighborhood, your local middle school and high school will have free exchange in Europe, will have laptops for you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in poorer neighborhood, you're gonna have a piece of board and chalk.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a cause. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
But
that could be definitely one of the
Yeah.
variables into that
It's
equation.
just and I think if we dig deeper, it just goes to the role of the states, like a role of the state in the life of an individual.
Yeah.
Because in the US, if people, let's say, more social programs or something, when you toss out this idea, you're a socialist, you're a communist, right? And in Europe, we were pretty used to having, social welfare, free
Yeah.
healthcare.
Yeah.
Some of the people in the US that I had conversation with, they couldn't even grasp a concept of public healthcare.
I know.
Or of public
Yeah,
education.
yeah.
They were like,
That was-
how? So it means
Yeah.
it means that you pay more for that and less for that. I'm like, no, you don't pay. Like
Yeah.
they already take it.
One of their main reasons is that
Relax.
why do I have to pay for also someone else that doesn't deserve it? That's at least to the people that I talk to.
Mhm.
They say why, like if I'm willing to pay way more, but because I can afford it and because I worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
It's not right for me to pay for another person that maybe doesn't do anything and still has to get his surgery done because it didn't deserve it technically.
It's
But-
just laissez-faire, like the history class.
Yeah. I've actually spoke. This is very funny because I spoke with one of my professors. She was a marketing professor. I don't want to say the name, but she very, very nice person, very successful. She lives here in Quincy, and she's obsessed with Italy. So she goes there. I think she's been there probably more times than me in the past 5 years. She said she's been there 27 times, I think, in the past 5 to 10 years. And she said that unfortunately she was in Rome, and she broke a wrist or something, like a bone came out. And she said, so I went to the local hospital, like to the nearest hospital. And she said that it took her at least, I think she said 15 hours to get checked. So the bone was already, it just getting infected.
I've been there.
Yeah, so it's just obviously fucked
Really?
up.
Actually?
And she said, she had an awful experience.
Mhm.
And when I spoke to her and I said, yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the problems with public healthcare, that there's so many people that need stuff that you just can't welcome everybody. So that's just the public healthcare. That's just how it works. And she said, I would have loved to pay thousands and thousands of dollars, but I'd rather to just have my fucking thing done, obviously.
Yeah.
Corrected. And it might sound stupid, but it's actually interesting because people here are willing to pay for it and don't complain about it at all. They want their private healthcare, and that's it. There's not even a thought of a public one because they know that, unfortunately, unless you're in a rich a rich area, it's not gonna work that well.
Yeah, but also the danger of that is that there is, like in the United States, it's a huge cohort of people who come from poor backgrounds, who require a surgery that is 20-30K in their teen ages. Yeah. So they have no choice, so they take a loan, and then what's happening? They cannot go to college because college is 30-40K a year. So the setback is that, those people who didn't have that much of a chance in the beginning, if they have, health issues, then that might be screwed, like literally for life. So I think
then you screw your kids and all the cycle starts.
Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, I think the best alternative is kind of Dutch model when it's private, but it's highly, highly regulated by the government. So you have, I think, the price ceilings on medicines. Okay. So there's like, they analyze how much is to manufacture, how much profit they should get. And those companies are doing good, but it's still affordable for people because healthcare in the States is pure business. It's like business run
so big.
by the rules of, I don't know, the other industries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is, I don't think it's the best way, but it's just kind of interesting to see both sides.
Anyway, I wanted to. I mean, there's so much stuff that we have in common, but so we started with the canceling of Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, we jumped like
we jumped
like
so
crazy.
Much. So
the challenge. How far can we get?
I don't know if I necessarily want to. It's a very hard topic. Because when you talk about canceling in the US, it's hard. What I believe is that canceling doesn't make any sense to me.
What?
Just canceling people. I don't think it makes sense. Because there's always like, it's not like that person is going to have those thoughts anyway. If it's your opinion, sorry, not your opinion. It's your choice if you want to listen to them or if you don't want to listen to them. If you're smart enough, you know what's the difference between a good person or a bad person or a good idea or a bad idea. More specifically for Joe Rogan, I think that his career obviously speaks for himself. Like, he's just a very nice, like if you just listen to him, you know, just daily, you know that he's a nice guy and he's got good ideas, he's got good passions, and what he did is he wasn't, at least from what I understood, he wasn't addressing necessarily the person that way. I'm talking about the reason why he got cancelled.
Is the
I
COVID
think it was
stuff,
just,
right?
Yeah? No, it's not the COVID stuff.
Really?
No.
So what else? Because
he said many times the N-word.
Oh yeah.
That's why. But apparently, and this is being confirmed, I guess, which I've never heard him. I watched many, but I never heard him saying. But apparently, maybe in 15 years, he probably said it 10, 20 times. But those times, he was just saying the word. He wasn't necessarily addressing someone to the other side of the room. He was just saying the word. Like if you say Adolf Hitler, obviously, I'm just saying the word. I'm not saying what he did or like he's a nice or a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just addressing the word itself, you know. But apparently, not apparently,
it works in the culture.
You just can't say.
Yeah.
That's just fuck. It's not that you can't say. It's just you don't say it.
I mean, I agree. You cannot say it because it has such a big burden, historical burden.
Yeah.
But also, I think he got cancelled because of COVID, because his attitude was very, he was saying, it's bullshit.
That thing happened before the N-word, because apparently he said it. Yeah, that thing with COVID, he wasn't necessarily cancelled for that. He was cancelled right after, because of the racial racial word, but also he got a lot of shit on because of the COVID, because he was saying things, he was just putting out his opinion about stuff, and people got mad.
And I think because he, just like you said, he quoted this word. He didn't refer to a black person.
Yeah.
Like he just quoted, I don't know, somebody's statement or. So for me, it's just ridiculous. And I think some people, some influential people had to have very good interest of doing that, and pulling that up right now, because he didn't said that for 10 years, because the pop culture in the US was very, very different in early 2000s than is it right now.
I mean,
just
even
look
in the last 5 years,
just like a stand-up of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Or the specials. If they do it right now,
even
they're
one
gonna
of
get
those big white guys, obviously. They're the way they do jokes so different.
Yeah, so it went that way, which is I don't know if it's good or if it's bad, but they're basically judging a man based on his statements from 10, 15 years ago, when the culture was okay with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's good at all. And going back to canceling, there is either, for me, I think there is either free speech or there is controlled speech.
Yeah.
So if you go to North Korea, you have the alternative. When there is no, supposedly
you can't smile for 10 days.
Look, supposedly the government is taking care that the information is going to people, and the information is clear and there is no misinformation, but everybody knows how does it look like. And the same was Poland in 80s, when we used to be communist. And so it's either for me completely free, or it's or there is somebody who controls that. So canceling, and also like Andrew Tate, who was cancelled. Or who else? Dave Chappelle refused to be cancelled.
Look, but like even with Andrew Tate, like to be completely honest, how many people do you personally know that have the exact same ideas as him? Like I know plenty of people that have the exact same ideas. And what do you do in a normal life? Obviously, you know that some of that stuff is ridiculous, but you just choose to ignore it. You just don't listen to it, But like to be completely honest, like it's not like he came into the media and said stuff that nobody has ever thought. There's always people that think that way. Many, multiple, thousands, like millions of people that way. I personally know many of them, but you just, you know that they're that way. Just leave them alone. Like you just ignore those parts. Like it doesn't make sense to just cancel a person. Like you have to close them social media just because they have those opinions. As long as they're not hurting anyone, I think you can express your opinion, I guess.
So I actually took time and listened to 5-hour podcast with Patrick Bet-David, which is one of my favorite podcasters. PBD.
Yeah.
PBD.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, the main motivation was, okay, he's getting cancelled. I want to figure out why. And he's saying, for example, he's going to say women are weak. Why is he saying that? He's trying to kind of, get the point across that on average, if it's up to, physicality and power, physical power, the men are better. But why is he saying the women are weak? Because he knows that it's gonna, it's gonna help. It is going to have views. So being controversial is a way to sell. And actually, during those 5 hours, he really, I don't want to say inspire because it's a big word, but he really kind of defended himself in a sense, because he said, okay, I'm this way, but also if you look, Fox TV, CNBC, or CNN, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're creating headlines.
Yeah.
And right now, the way we're going with TikTok, where, attention spans are getting shorter, so he's going to get, 15-second short on YouTube. He's not going to get his full piece seen by millions of people, because only like the people who actually follow him are going to listen to all that stuff that he records as a podcast, that he puts on YouTube. Right now it's, I think, Rumble, because he got canceled from YouTube.
Yeah, it's Rumble, yeah.
So that's why his persona, his persona is being seen by, misogynistic, by the guy who brags with his Bugatti. But honestly, he gives a lot of value, because for me, his main premise, based on my understanding, is that you have to take the responsibility for your actions, which is the great thing to teach young people. Because even based on like my example, like if I was in the stages when I was blaming everybody else for everything that happened to me, which was not positive. But once I started like even, overly exaggerating, saying that it is my fault, it's kind of liberating in a sense, even if it's not. And for me, this is one of his main messages. I don't know how familiar are you guys with him.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar. I just think that this is something that really, really bothers me right now. Especially just because you see this growing every single year. It's just that how is it possible that so many people, they take time off their day, their work, to just write and talk about other people and just judge other people? Like isn't it like obvious that just everybody's like a human, even someone that has broken any record, even Nadal, they're all humans. Like they all make mistakes daily. You can say stuff that might not be wrong, but that doesn't make you, like, if you can say stuff that doesn't necessarily is true or might actually be wrong in a specific time, but if you address it and if you recognize it, then that doesn't mean that necessarily you're a bad person. I just think that as of right now, we judge way too much, way too quick. for every single person. And that's the exact same thing that happened to Joe Rogan, because if someone actually knows what it, like, if actually someone listens to him for like 10 hours, you know that that's actually no problem with him. He's absolutely not a bad person.
But I think also like the great people, like there's always gonna be like people like to judge, like, cause like people like they like to gossip, they like to judge, like that's like culture. But I think the great people, like that's when they put like in their like mentally, they're like, I'm not gonna care about it, I'm gonna work on myself. That's what he was saying, like when you put like the pressure on you, like forget, oh, like they're judging me, they say I'm weak, they say I'm not gonna make it, then like you kind of like underestimate yourself, then you're gonna go down. But like if you're like mentally strong and you say that, no, like they say I'm weak, like I'm gonna prove them wrong, like I'm gonna work on myself. Like whenever like you can change, then like you have control, because like you can control like what other people are gonna do. Like if you keep blaming, oh, my coach doesn't give me opportunities, or my coach doesn't teach me the right way,
change school, change,
or like prove to him like that your way is good, like you can always like get away. I think it clicked. Get away, like to change like your environment, and then like whenever like you hold yourself accountable like to your actions, like that's when you grow. Like like doesn't matter what other people do, what other people think. I'm just gonna grow, work on myself.
Yeah, and also going back, like kind of judging culture. I wanted to say about social media and how they kind of change debate, like social debate. We're kind of getting shorter attention spans. So if I wanna, look for Felipe and Sam on the internet, like I'm gonna have YouTube short, I'm gonna have Twitter posts, and this is my sole base for the judgment of a person. Not sole, but the easiest and more accessible that people are shifting towards. Don't get me wrong, I'm not starting bitching about social media because it kind of pisses me off when people are starting to say that social media are the cause of every modern problem in the world. Like it is, especially with people slightly older, because for me social media are bringing more good than bad, especially if you know how to use them. But anyways, like you're not gonna understand a person based on their Twitter, based on their YouTube short. So this is part of the stuff that you were talking about, that how people easily get canceled, because let's say out of our conversation that we have or somebody has, you're gonna get 15 seconds, and let's say something controversial, which was the part of 5-minute speech, and then you're perceived. But I think it's always been like that. Right now it's slightly more.
It has always been like that. It's just not as much as accessible to everyone. Maybe happened already, but it wasn't as clear to everybody's eyes as
in 60s you were reading newspaper, the headline, or listen to the radio when you're going in the taxi.
Crazy, huh?
I
don't know, there's so much to talk about it. I don't even know what to. You tell me on the time whenever you guys need to.
I mean, I can sit here. I love talking.
Next time I'm gonna have. No, I can't. Never mind. I wanted to provide the guests something. So next time I'm gonna provide something that you might like. We'll see. Something I don't know, just to keep you.
Sure. Let's talk about social media. Because
social media.
It's huge debate between generations. I feel.
Yeah. So I think that it's something that, as of right now, it creates many opportunities, many opportunities. And I don't think that I have to be honest. I was very judgmental many years ago when I didn't actually understand it, because for me it wasn't realistic that, for example, someone would post a video on YouTube and get millions of views for just vlogging his life and actually get millions out of it. It didn't make sense to me at the beginning. Now that I'm trying to do something, like this, now I actually understand, this is not easy at all. Like this actually takes time, and just that the portrait, it's so easier, so it looks so easy from the outside that it makes you think, okay, that's just bullshit, anybody can do that, which is actually not true. So I just think that it's so hard to, that's why I don't think people should judge, because it's just so hard to actually understand someone through a screen. You just have to take social media for what it is. It's just easier to connect with people, easier to meet people. It's definitely not a place to judge, or having a full, you think you completely know a person from just a Instagram post. You just don't.
What do you mean by judging? Because this word appears here so much, but obviously you're gonna hear in a public debate, don't judge, but what does it mean? Because for me, it's impossible not to judge, because when you enter the room, like,
there's ways to do it. There's ways to judge, because if I say, for example, look, I think you're an awesome guy, but I really don't like your sweater. Okay? Like, I really don't. Like, I fucking hate it, But I still appreciate you as a person, There's just people out there, and many people, they just say fuck you because you're wearing that shirt. That shirt is so offensive. Like, you should just take it off. Just fuck off. There's ways to do it. Like, I can still disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I have to judge you for who he is based.
You gotta have like two things. I think respect and open-minded, because like just because I think away, just because I think away this way, like, doesn't mean I'm right. Like just the way, like, you just have to. That's how I try to think, like, about everything. Like, it's like, oh, I think that way. I might be right, I might be not, but like.
True.
Like, just be open-minded, like, see, like, the person's perspective, and then, like, even if you don't understand, just like, okay, I respect that. But like you said, like, the bad things about judging, like, I think people whenever you are in social media, like, and you are trying to be successful there, you just gotta understand, like, what people want. Because, like, people are out there making videos, judging people and making money doing that, And I think, like, that's how like, how you see, like, a person that like a 10-year girl, like, talking about makeup, and she's making, like, a lot of money. That's because people want to see that. Like,
also because she's good at it, and people find in her something that they might not find someone else. So she just has that perfect look or perfect way to do that stuff that you don't, clearly not many people understand, but it's just perfect for
so where's the line between providing interesting content and providing what people want to watch and kind of selling yourself? Because, kind of like, let me give you an example of Italian restaurant in a town in America. Okay, let me just kind of try to explain the mechanism.
Right away.
If you go to Italian restaurant in America, the food is everything but Italian. But why? Because if there was real Italian food, nobody would buy it. Because the guts of people are very, very different here. So is the Italian owner selling himself and selling his culture to pursue money, to pursue monetary benefits? Or he should keep it real and sell the food that, it's a tradition, is the way, his mother was doing. So, applying that to social media, can you guys think where's the line in between, providing content that people want to watch, or just kind of selling yourself and, like, being like, let's not say names, but being just, a puppet. Puppet who just all he or she cares about is the number under the video, not what social influence do I have, not what am I standing for, but 2 million views, I won.
I think it depends on your goal, like, and the kind of person you are, but I believe that, like, if you do something you don't believe, or, like, it's gonna be hard, like, to keep up with that. I don't think you can keep, like, selling yourself for a much long time. Like, you might do it once and then get a million, and then it's okay, I win, but, like,
that's actually true.
That's a good point.
Talking about that topic, the Italian part. So I just think that.
I mean, by the way, I know that Italians are very big on keeping the tradition. It's a national pride, which is very, very good.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a national pride, just like here is hardworking. Just Americans are known because we work hard, we make money and stuff like that. Just that's just how culture works.
Mhm.
It's not that we're big about food. It's just that that's what most people spend their day on. We just eat breakfast with our family, eat lunch with our family, eat dinner with our family, even a snack with our family maybe, and we spend hours doing that. Lunch is not 15 minutes like here. Lunch is 2-3 hours. So it becomes such a big thing, because when you sit down with everybody and you actually have a good meal to enjoy, then everything is better.
Yeah.
So I just think that's one of the big part. It's just that I think that I agree with you. Many Americans would not enjoy the Italian way of doing things, like especially in terms of food. But at the same time, we don't have to forget that they probably tasted or they sell here 1% of what Italy actually is.
Mhm.
Because if you think about it, because you're from Europe, it's so much easier to make an Italian dish than anything else, because it's all we sell is very simple to do. Everything is
The
based
quality
on
of
the
ingredients.
Yeah, just based
Yeah.
on the quality of the ingredients. Because if the ingredients are good, you need 3 to make a perfect pasta. You need pasta, oil, and tomato sauce. That's it. You don't need anything else. But at the same time, I think that's too simple. Like when I have always have this beef with one of my teammates that he puts seasoning on everything, and his main idea is that I put seasoning on it. It's gonna taste amazing, but what is the difference if you eat a metal spoon with seasoning, and and beef with
Yeah.
seasoning? There's no difference,
I
because you
agree.
just taste the seasoning. So at this point, it just produce one type of food, put seasoning on it, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's just so much more complicated about it. Like, it's just that people enjoy that thing here, and it makes sense for Italian people to do that to Italian restaurants, because
I think
Yeah.
it's also related
but-
to the experience itself, because most people don't know how actually
Is, yeah.
Italian food tastes like. But just the experience, if you go to an Italian restaurant, they're gonna have all the settings, they're gonna have the menu in Italian, then they're gonna feel like they're having the experience. I think that's when you get the clients. It's not because of the food itself.
It's
just
because of the experience. Yeah, because of the culture that you can sell. I guess it's very easy to sell.
So coming back to our social media debate
Yeah.
about where's the fine line,
Yeah.
you guys would say it's a blend, or you guys would lean in some
I think
way?
that it's up to the people that are watching.
Mhm.
So if you're a creator, if you're on social media and people actually enjoy, no matter the views don't matter at all. I think that if you can have an impact on the people, I think you're doing the right way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it depends on the purpose, your goal, because I know a lot of especially in the financial world, like you said, you social media provides a lot of good. I know that because my Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, it's full with
Yeah.
financial funds
Yeah.
managers, analysts. So I get a lot of information. Then you can see people that are actually just saying look at this, how you can make this amount of money in such a short period of time. Just trying to convince you to watch, and sometimes you can do it, but you're not gonna last long because there's no promises in the financial world.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna get your attention. Maybe you're gonna buy a book or a course
Or a
or something like
stock.
that. But if you don't have a purpose of actually selling something that you believe, then there's you're not gonna last long.
Yeah, there's actually
the
such
time
a-
the
yeah.
time is the best time is the best indicator,
Yeah.
because you can see the guys who are there for many years, for decades,
Yeah.
and you can see the guys, they're gonna make a hit, they're gonna make a quick buck by selling a shitty
Uh-huh.
course,
Yeah.
but eventually the value will always
Yeah.
just like in a company, you can speculate, you can
Mhm.
play on GameStop. Some people made a lot of money, but at the end, who wins? Warren Buffett, who's a
Yeah.
classic value investor
Yeah.
from Benjamin Graham School,
Mhm.
and actually, Benjamin Graham was the author of Intelligent Investor,
Yeah.
and most of the guys that beat the market the most significantly in 70s, 80s were from his school. classic value investing, looking at
Margin of
modes.
safety.
So
Yeah.
I want to talk about something that it's really pisses me the fuck off a little bit. And I know I
Okay.
might sound a little bit harsh here. We'll see.
Come
if
on,
this
bring it
actually
on, bro.
is
Bring
just
it
a-
on.
So, I understand that Warren Buffett has been, and he is one of the biggest investors
Mhm.
ever been on the planet, biggest personality, just a very knowledgeable person. But fuck, man, Jesus Christ, he's got billions and billions of money, and he still, come on, he never spent those money. Like, does
Yeah.
it make sense to make that much money then you don't spend it? I'm
Me-
not saying you have to buy Ferraris.
I think
But
it
fuck-
does, cause like money, like maybe like so like let me just give you an example. Like
Yeah.
when like most people just want to invest, like to get money, to get rich. You know,
Yeah.
like I know like that I actually like this financial because I like getting my money to invest again. You know, like,
Yeah.
not to like of course I want to make more money.
Yeah.
But like I like that. Like I like the feeling of like having control, you know, like studying more to get better at something. And like he just want like why would you need like more money to like buy more stuff like if you don't actually want
Let
I'm not
me-
saying
let me
I'm
tell
not
you
saying
that-
I'm not saying necessarily buy more stuff. I just want to be clear.
Uh-huh.
I just want to say honestly, like talkingly honestly, it gets one point when at least for this guy that bro, that's way too much money.
Mhm.
Like there's a way, like it doesn't make sense to just have those money there. I understand investing. Obviously, I'm one of those people that I'll try to make as much as I can for as much as I live.
Uh-huh.
But I also have to understand that I can't just sitting in a bank with $300 million
Oh, yeah.
forever. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't make any
My
sense.
Yeah.
thesis with those people, with Buffett, Munger, or some of the people from Poland that I
Yeah.
follow that have, way more money than one can ever spend,
Yeah.
they're not being rewarded by money, but they're being rewarded by being right.
Yeah.
For them, the payment is not the zeros that they have in their bank accounts. For them, payment is to sit in the main place, in the main spot, in the meeting, in the conference, and being in a role of expert. For him, being right is the payment.
No,
And-
no, I understand that. I mean, yeah, that makes absolutely sense. I'm just saying that if you get to that position, there must be, like, you have to, like, at least enjoy life a little bit more. Like, you must do something with the wealth that you have. I don't think it's right to just have that wealth sitting there.
And so there was a study. I don't know. I don't remember. I wish I remembered that after a certain point of money, I think it's about 70 or 80 grand a year.
Yeah, that's the
That
Jordan
your-
Peterson said that. The study
I
was
thi-
made. But
I think he quoted-
He
he
quoted the
quoted,
study.
yeah.
Yeah. He said after
So,
$60,000.
60, 80, like wherever, your overall happiness
Yeah.
does not raise. And coming
Yeah.
back, I had a thought when we were talking about Italy versus US in terms of working
Yeah.
culture, like happiness. Do you think the happiness is in let's say US style for the sake of the argument of getting status, getting money, being recognized, just like Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
When for me, my subjective opinion is like his payment is there when he's sitting and he's right.
Yeah.
Or, and by the way, Warren Buffett is not the investor that we know that he's just sitting there, because in his early ages he was crazy active investor, going basically from door to door, because it was still kind of his youth was a still kind of wild west of finance, because regulations were a fraction of the regulations that are right now, so he
Yeah.
could go to door, buy some instruments. I don't know exactly how he made the money that he has, but anyways, or the happiness, it's kind of Italian style, being with each other, dining, sharing the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Or like
It's
what's
just that
happiness?
You
'Cause-
have to
Uh-huh.
to truly understand that there you need people like kind of like us that have that kind of
Comparison.
comparison. People like us that have that sort of that can make an actual comparison, because living my whole life that way, you kind of get bored, at least in my opinion. And
also, let me interrupt you here. Not only bored, but you don't realize that you're within something.
Get a little closer.
Oh, okay, yeah. You don't realize that you're within something. If you're a fish that swims in the aquarium for the entire life, like you don't know you're in aquarium because
exactly.
all like it exists, you know. So like I don't think people like the world needs me a lot. I wouldn't say so because the world will be fine without me, but like I would say curious people.
Just try to get a little closer. My bad.
Yeah, I would say like curious people who are not afraid of questioned things. Yeah,
like for example, like, and you can tell this because I mean, at least for me, that's my opinion. But like, I was always the kind of person that, you know, when you have like this is very stupid example. I know when you have I used to play a lot of video games, and then at one point I just stopped because in my mind it didn't make sense that you have like limits, you know, in the map when you have limits and I can't see over that limit. It just didn't make sense in my mind. I said, okay, this is not worth it because I always know that there's something more to understand, something more to achieve. And I feel like living that way, the way that we live in Europe, so many people miss out. You know, so many people don't really understand what's their opportunities and their capabilities because they don't have a clue of it, because they don't have access to it. Like
I wouldn't say Europe.
No,
I would
Europe,
say
like
the entire world, because I don't think it's necessarily wrong, because if you don't have like ambitions, like I believe yourself, when you really wanted to, you know, travel the world, get to know how to live your life, compare the cultures, but you can just, you know, have a simple life, you know, finish school, get married, have kids, work, enjoy what you're doing.
It's up to the person.
And I think
coming
back to kind of multi-generation discussion and the social media discussion, a little bit older people, let's say boomers, they don't like that right now the world questions their status quo. Like it destroyed their status quo because right now they have more opportunities and they're overwhelmed by the opportunities. And they don't really understand it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but we live in two different worlds. So again, there's nothing wrong with somebody being, you know, from rural part of Italy and, you know, having a desire of meeting their family and growing up, you know, making some wine and getting the job as a teacher in the local school.
No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But it's just, I feel it connects to the social media pretty well because social media opened the door.
Yeah. Like now it's much easier to understand how many things you can do actually.
Yeah.
How many things you can achieve. And even like I used to get, honestly, like I always talk to my parents about this and say, like when I was young, like I didn't grow up in a very good like family financially wise. We're always struggling our entire life, and like really at one point very struggling. So when when you're a young kid, you start thinking, you know, the future a little bit. And my dream was to make, 1,000 euros a month. I said, if I reach that goal, means that I made it, because 1,000 euros I can live, I can eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can go maybe a vacation a year. Maybe I can lease a car. That's life, I never understood. Like, you see rich people, but you don't really understand. Like, when you're a kid, you say, is that like actually real? And then like I came here, and here, like, how easy is it to make $1,000 a month? Like, it's so easy, it's so accessible to everyone, to anyone. You don't need a degree, you don't need anything. So when I realized that, and then I started growing up, and I came here in the United States, I said, okay, so there's no limit. There's actually no limit to how much you can make, how much you can achieve, as long as you put your mind into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something that not many people can actually understand if you don't live in an environment that pushes you as much as it does here.
Yeah. I mean, United States is
the best.
No. It's 100 different countries within the country.
Yeah.
So many different cultures. But I agree that institutionally you don't have so many limits than in Europe, being under, kind of more social democracy.
Yeah.
But your limits come from kind of your status. Your limits come from like where you were born, but still, like there is a reason for the archetype of American dream. Like it didn't,
Do you believe in the American dream?
Yes. People say it's diminishing, but it's just kind of based on like pure interactions of like people. I had conversations with random people that I felt part of that might be the culture here is different, and it's way easier to have friends than I would say back home in Poland because of the different cultures. Because unfortunately in Poland we still have a lot of things that left from communism, and people are not so willing to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But like I had so many conversations that, random thing. And for example, I've been recommended a great book. I've been recommended, such a good advice. Like I met the businessman from San Diego in Copenhagen. I just overheard like, his American accent speaking English.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what you're doing? I ended up talking to him for an hour. He was a retired business person from San Diego. Told me some good advice. Told me like, look, you're into business? I'm like, yeah. Never accept a business advice from a person who never wrote a check on Friday night. And I'm like, okay. Like,
oh, that's cool.
And all of those people are, not all of them, some of those people are very skeptical about the school when you're going to business.
Yeah.
And
many people.
I can understand why. But college also have, the main role for college for me is not studying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Networking, number one.
Number one, for sure.
Exposure to new things, number two. And getting social skills.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go back to the topic. And I don't think I would have that much conversations or with a person that I met. I was working for a guy who used to be very, very successful coach in NCAA, but also very good businessman. And also just those conversations, about a little bit of life, but mostly on financial background of like, planning. Like people are so open in a sense of sharing knowledge in here.
Yeah, that's true.
In Europe, it's more like, okay, that's my knowledge. I don't want to share it that much.
That is.
So I had few moments that I felt kind of in a movie, like, like a kid, 20-year-old, 21, in college or fresh out of college, talking to a guy who, like, I talked to some millionaires. Like I don't know if billionaires, but I had an opportunity to speak to some multi-millionaires. And it felt like from a movie,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this is kind of, so that's why I believe, people say American dream is diminishing because of the policies, because of the social that was released in COVID, because of all of the different stuff, like the division of the society, which in comparison to China is nothing, by the way. But I feel like it's still like, you're here, you have to talk to the guy, here you can work a little bit for this guy, that guy will give you that. And this is like, in some sense, it's beautiful. In some sense, like those people who came here from, Cuba, communist Cuba, made it to being a millionaire, made it to be a star. Some people who come from, like basically on the boat with nothing and made it to be, millionaire. It's still possible in Europe. Like in Europe, it's a great prosperity, but it's a whole different path. It's more institutionalized. And in here you have this vibe, like you can see this vibe that, you're here, you have nothing, you can be anyone, you can be everything.
The thing is that when people like talk about it, it's not just a vibe, like it can actually happen, because the main difference which I recognize based on my experience is that people here actually value for what you can give to me. You know? Because let's not go around it. Like when you have any type of relationship with any person, it can be a lot. If you love someone, if you have a friendship, to establish that kind of relationship, that person has to give something to you. Otherwise, you'll never be with that person. So you go out with someone because maybe can talk a lot of things in common, or maybe because it's funny, or maybe because like, if you don't have anything, that person is not giving anything to you, 100% you're not gonna talk to them ever again. So here they put a lot of value of what they can give to you, because if they see, especially here, people go crazy unless I recognize this. If they recognize in your eyes and how you talk, if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to do anything for them, because if you're willing to just give your 100% every time, they go nuts. Like they'll help you all the way through. It doesn't matter where they come from.
I experienced that.
And I experienced that as well, because when I came here, I couldn't believe that, because back home, like you can't trust anyone, because if you don't give them exactly what they want every single time, or if they don't have a gain out of it necessarily, they're not gonna help you. There's not a chance. And not just because people are bad or good. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. It's just how it works, That's just how, at least where I'm from. Here, no. Like if they recognize that you are a person that values, a good person, genuine person that wants to work hard, they're just gonna help you. They're just gonna help you all the way, just because they're genuine about it, because they've probably been there also.
Well, yeah, but I would also say that in here I feel that people look at you through the lenses of what they can get from you, which is like natural.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest with each other. Like just like you said, if people have with each other any kind of relationship, it's always transactional.
Yeah.
It's always transactional.
Yeah, always.
Marriage is transactional.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Because you make me feel good. I want to marry you.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, also because if you're not able to raise kids, to provide something, to be there every time, to support me, like you're not gonna be you're gonna divorce that person. Like it's not, you can love her, but like.
So coming back, mostly like if people see that, but if they stop seeing that, or they don't see it, they don't care. Which is, I mean, for me, it's completely natural. It's not right. It's not wrong. But I like always, like when I see some kind of phenomena in society or in people in general, I always like to think about prehistorical example. Like for example, why do we have need to be with people? Like people are getting depressed. Like being lonely is like smoking cigarettes. Like the same effect to your body, like smoking cigarette or like eating unhealthy. Why? Because 2 million years ago, when I was alone, I was very likely to get eaten. I was very likely to get killed. But if there's two of us, we're less likely to die. And this kind of, desire, our need, survived because we're not evolving that fast. So every time I see something like that, just like you say, transactional, I always, okay,
I like
so
to do that
if we are, two guys with the hair all over our bodies, somewhere in a cave, what is the background? What is the reason for our behavior right now?
Yeah.
So that's why, it's going back to judging.
Yeah.
Right? Like judging is natural because, if there's a person doing something, I judge if it's good for me or not.
Yeah.
If it's, likely to bring any benefit to me or not. So, judging is natural. It's not bad. It's not good. Saying stuff aloud, maybe it's not necessary always.
Yeah.
But
you're absolutely right. It's just that I also think that we can learn through history. Like as of right now, we're not in a point where we need necessarily to judge anyone. Like it doesn't have any benefits if you watch someone on a video and you judge them. Like it doesn't benefit you at all.
Mm-hmm.
That person has no involvement in your life whatsoever. Yeah, sorry. Or you can just take it off and just hold the mic or whatever.
Alright, I might do that.
I lost it.
But I wouldn't agree that judging has no role and purpose. Because
it had for sure in the past, because you probably had to, you know, maybe you had one interaction with one person, so you had to judge right away to see if that person was right or good or bad for you.
Okay.
But as of right now, do you really like need to watch a YouTube video necessarily think that that person is good or bad? Like, does it actually affect you?
Not the YouTube video, but judging, like, you know, in person. When I see the person on the street, or like, let's say I'm about to make any type of business with a person, or you know,
no, that's for sure different.
Judgment is like you judge, you know, 100 times, no, not 100 times, but like 1,000 times a day. You always subconsciously make judgment. The other thing is that whether you have a stake in articulating this judgment, because when you look at me, you're gonna see, okay, what kind of shirt is he wearing? What kind of sweatshirt? Like, you already told some shit about it, but okay.
No, it wasn't real, obviously. Like,
yeah. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But like, okay, is his facial hair groomed? Like, if he looks, you know, the guy I want to do the business with, if he looks like the guy I want to be friends with, or is he a threat to me?
Yeah.
And you do it subconsciously, so judging.
That's true.
That's why I kind of cringe when I hear that word, because it's so widely overused.
Yeah.
And it's so, you know, oh, judging is bad, you know, don't judge. No, like, you have to judge to survive.
No. Yeah.
You know?
No. Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, do you really have a stake in putting that comment, in like on you know, saying that shit online? So sometimes, like, I feel like I do, because the thing that I watched, I have the knowledge to know it's bullshit, but some of the people may not have this knowledge. And sometimes I'm the person who doesn't have a knowledge, but like, I want to read the comments, like what others think about it. But the ultimate filter is time.
Yeah, time cures everything.
Yeah. And kind of filters those people.
Those things, yeah. Oh, that was pretty good as a first.
Yeah.
It's a fair podcast. It's gonna be very interesting once I get other people here, because it's not gonna be this easy, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like I can talk anything about you. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come whenever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are your actual thoughts about, just going off topics? You know, just something more chill. What are your thoughts about this small?
I mean, I love it. Like, you know, basement studio.
Yeah, you love it.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just talking, like,
even. Yeah.
Because here's what I understand. Like, we're 20. I'm 23. You're 22. 22.
Are you 99?
Huh? 98.
98. Okay.
So, like, we shouldn't put ourselves in a position of experts. Like, I would love to talk about business, but I'm not gonna tell you like what to invest in. I'm not gonna give you an overview of the market. I can bring some concepts like we can discuss, but we should just, you know, document our journey. And I feel like in many senses my journey is very interesting. Like, going from, like, if you told me like 5 years ago, like, I also like to, you know, go back in time when I find myself in certain situation and ask, like, if 5 years ago I would expect to do it. Like, look, would you expect, let's say, go even further, 8 years ago, you're in high school or middle school in Italy. High school. You're going to be in Illinois in a basement of your American roommate talking to Polish guy about some,
Absolutely not.
I know, about some stuff. So I always want to kind of escape from day-to-day thinking, day-to-day success and failure, and like find myself like, you know, did I really think like 5-10 years ago I would be here doing that and that and that, you know?
I never believed I could have actually made it to the United States. For me, it was just a huge dream. It was literally like a dream, you know.
Okay.
You know, I was obsessed because I came with this agency here to the United States, and they used to post the alums of this company that went to the United States and went to school there. They used to post, you know, sometimes some videos of them going with to play soccer or to go around for just a nice dinner. And for me, that was literally a dream. Like, I watched those videos have 30 views, but I probably watched them 27 times. You know? Just because for me it was just a dream. You know, Italian people that can make it that can come to the US and do this, and you can actually have a scholarship and live. Like, that was a dream. When And I never realized it until I came here. Like,
Mhm.
until I came here, I said, fuck, wait, I just made it here. And once I got that, because when you come from a like kind of like a rough background and you have a small opportunity, you gotta
Yeah.
make the most out of it, like
Yeah.
115% out of it, because that's all you have. So once I
Yeah.
came here, and literally with probably one of the worst spots in the United States, even here, there's so much things that you can do, that you can achieve, so
Uh-huh.
many people that you can meet, and for me, this was like huge. Like, I came to campus, and now compared to any other campus, ours is basically shit, you know. But like you see, and for me it was wow. Like, I
Mhm.
made it, you know. Like, I have this now. I have to work 110% in order to maintain this status and to keep going, because now I understand that dreams can actually, you know, come true.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice.
So
Yeah. I didn't really thought about like the aspect of coming to States, but like many aspect, even like aspect your personal development, the things that you do, like going, to see something like, those thoughts with the 5-year throwback of like me 5 years ago thinking I'm gonna do this and this, but I can also relate in some way. But with me, when I came, I was like, I didn't quite like the sport that much because I used to play a little bit higher level, but I was like, I want more. Like I'm like, I want more.
yeah, me too.
And
Same.
yeah, and this is, taking one day at a time.
But you can,
But
in a college, like you said, you can do so many things in a
Yeah.
university. You know, meet people, go out, study, play sport. You can do all of this. If I would have stayed back home, I would be doing one single thing, knowing myself all day long, which was studying. You know, I would have
Mhm.
cut out relationships. I would have cut out going out. I would have cut out for sure tennis,
Yeah.
my sport. You know, I would have missed out so much. And I know, because I have, you know, friends that do this all day long, that all they think about is just that. They don't have any chance to do anything else. And for me, just being able to do so many things and still study, get a degree and all that stuff, for me was
That's good.
unbelievable.
Yeah, and doing one thing when you're 20 can be very detrimental.
Yeah.
When you put your, how do they say, like, put the eggs in a basket? You put all the eggs to the sport basket.
Yeah.
Huge risk. Put all of the eggs. Even when, let's say, like, you study finance, you make it, you still kind of miss out.
Yeah.
And I love how in the US, I love how in the US they understand the social aspect of education. That the goal of studying in the university is, okay, you have some classes, you have some sport, but they put so much emphasis on the social aspect that you actually learn how to be a human living in a society.
Yeah.
So again, like for me, networking, exposure to new things, and getting social skills, like being put in like different social situation every day, every few days, and then you have to kind of go with it.
Yeah.
So-
Like I always used to do this thing that to talk at least to my friends and my parents about this,
Mhm.
how here, at least when I came here 4 years ago, I had to say no to go out, because everybody wanted to be social, regardless of tennis, athletics, school, or like friends. Because friends, you go out obviously. Then you have school, which you have to participate there, this club, that club, every day. You get emails every single day, this club, that club. And then you have athletics, where you have to show up there, you have to represent the school over there. You know, it's so much about,
Yeah, I agree.
being involved. So that camera is off. With
So I think
two huge cards, so I think
it's giving us the sign to
the
stop.
signs.
Like, it's like, I realize you guys bullshitting is too much.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna be seen, but we still have the shot on you. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
And,
Such a pleasure.
I appreciate it, and we'll see what comes out of this.
Alright, bro.
And then hopefully we'll have you many more times.
Alright, bro. Hope so too.
Appreciate it.
Alright.
You still have to meet Zach. It's gonna be a very interesting conversation with him, because he's very knowledgeable in business. Very knowledgeable.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna have a fun conversation with him.
Okay.
Alright.
Till the next time, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Alright, let me cut this.
How long was that?
Give me a sec. Let me see. This was an hour and 28 minutes.
Yeah,